Hey guys, today I've got a Chevy Silverado and we are going to change the upper and lower ball joints on both sides. So we'll just pull it up to the garage now and get that started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take off the tire here and see where we're at. So I guess to start we'll do the upper control arm first. So first things first, we'll we'll change the upper control arm first. The upper ball joint is the whole control arm assembly. So we'll go ahead and do that one first. But since we got to do the bottom ball joint, we'll go ahead and take off this caliper. And there's a small 10mm nut right back here that removes the bracket for the ABS and flex line. So now we'll go ahead and we'll remove this 10mm bolt here and another one back here, and that'll remove the brackets in order to remove the steering knuckle and the upper ball joint. So now we've got our flex line completely disconnected, ABS wire disconnected, so we'll go ahead and take off this bolt on the bottom of the upper ball joint and the bolt on the bottom of the ball joint, and then we'll get the steering knuckle out of the way. Okay, so both nuts are off. Now with a little strike of the hammer we should be able to separate this upper ball joint, hopefully. Now we'll do the same to the bottom. So our little hammer trick on the bottom ball joint didn't work, so now we're going to stick a fork in it. And we'll see if that works. Over there anyway. So we'll remove this knuckle, let it hang by the tie rod, and now we'll take out this upper control arm. so these upper control arm bolts have a cam on them for alignment purposes, and I just noticed that as you push the bolt out, the cam wants to hit the spring, so as you're pushing the bolt out, the cam actually slides on this bolt, so you can just move it closer to the frame like I did on this one, and then you can get the whole bolt out. Otherwise this cam hits the spring and you'll wonder how the heck it happens. But yeah, it's just push that in and keep pushing the bolt out, and then they'll be out. And there we have it. Upper control arms out. This one's got quite a bit of play in the upper ball joint. Now we'll go ahead and tackle the lower ball joint. It's got to be pressed out. So if you guys aren't familiar with this job at all, this bottom ball joint's pressed in, of course. Comes with a new circlip and cotter pin. Now a quick and easy way to tell which way you got to press it out is just, this is the lip that it'll end up resting on once it's pressed in. And of course this ball joint sits down like that, so it's going to go in from the bottom, which means the old one is going to come out through the top. Alright, so we've got our ball joint contraption mounted here, and now we're just going to go ahead and see if we can press this thing out. When you're pressing this out, you'll pretty much max out your press, and you'll need to hit it with a hammer just to give it a bit of a vibration to break it loose. But now we broke it loose and it's on its way out. I always like to check out the old ball joint when I take it out. It's always nice to see that it is bad and you're not changing it for no reason, but it's definitely got a lot of up and down play and pretty loose compared to the new one. So now we'll just go ahead and press in the new one. So I've got a nice coupling here that fits right over the rubber boot. Just make sure you don't pinch the rubber boot when you're pressing it in. It's right up against the seat. So now we're going to go ahead and press in this new one. Alright, there we have it. One beautifully pressed in lower ball joint. Now I just have to put in the circlip, and then we'll go on to the top control arm. Alright guys, so we got our new upper control arm here with ball joint, and we're just going to go ahead and put it back in. Now if you are changing both sides at the same time, there is a left and a right, so just make sure you've got the left on the left and the right on the right. So we're going to go ahead and put our upper control arm bolts back in. Now there is a left and a right on these as well, so you can tell just by matching this up to the mark that was on the frame, and that's what we're going to do when we put it back together. We're going to put this in the exact spot where it came off. That way there we'll have a good reference to having it close to being aligned before we can get it aligned. Alright, now we've got our upper control arm bolts back in. The cams here are pretty much in the exact spot they came off. Now we'll just go ahead and snug those up. So we've got our upper ball joint nut installed, lower ball joint nut installed. Now we'll just go ahead and mount our rotor caliper, put the bolts back in for the flex line and ABS sensor, and that should just about do it. Hey guys, so when I was putting this back together, I just noticed this bottom caliper pin was pretty much seized. So I'm just going to go in and wire wheel it, and then hopefully we can free it up. Alright, so apparently with my amateur video skills, the battery died in this camera just as we were finishing up the other side. But I did get the caliper pin freed up, put some more caliper pin grease on it, and the other side's good to go. I just came over to the other side expecting it to be the same, and it wasn't. It was a pain in the butt. This bolt broke, which isn't a big deal, on the other control arm, so I'll just throw another bolt in. But this bolt, to get the control arm out, as you can see, it goes right into the spring, and I just couldn't get it around it, so I had to throw on one of these Widowmakers, and I compressed the spring up and got it out of the way until I could slide that bolt out. So in case you ever run into that problem, that's one way you can try to get it out. Worked for me, and then I just took it off and everything was good to go. Now the right side, we're just finishing it up. Just have to put the brakes back on, put another bolt in, like I said, on the one that broke, and that's it. So I hope you guys can use this video, and hopefully it helps somebody out. All you need is the ball joint press, like I probably said, just to get that lower ball joint out. But everything else is pretty straightforward. Just takes a little bit of time and wiggling. And yeah, so with the power of editing, hopefully it's not too painful or long to watch. And I appreciate you watching. If you like what you see, subscribe or like the video, and I'll see you guys again.